I'm Amanda Charles, and my company is Wonderfully Weird. And this is a presentation for Project Crayon Box. The content we'll go over is about us, getting to know us, goals and objectives, values, concepts, statistics, project timeline, and organizational assessment. Wonderfully Weird was established in this year. At the beginning of this year with the initiative to seek out and change the way our communities interact with students, clients, and families with mental health conditions through the process of research, data analysis, and experiences through social interactions and observations. Wonderfully Weird seeks to create professional, therapeutic, and personal development trainings and curriculum through the utilization of technology and digital citizenship. Goals for this project: design and develop software to meet the needs of the clients that will be interactive, engaging, and individualized and adaptive to the needs of mental health conditions. Objective 2, provide additional support to clients and staff to create better outcomes, achieve individualized goals, and improve support systems. Objective 3, decrease the symptoms of mental health conditions that come with anxieties, depression, behavioral issues, outbursts, panics, and other physical and emotional symptoms that elevate with live sessions. Values: my mission for Wonderfully Weird is to seek to support family and children with mental health conditions, and the vision is to eliminate the stigma of mental health conditions with the utilization of technological advances, innovative thinking, and out-of-the-box strategies. Concept. Okay, here is the big project: telehealth DBT parent-child program, but not your typical DBT. No, this is going to look a little bit different, and I am basing this off a paper I wrote in 2022. It was research that I did to establish the understanding of where parents are with autistic children. I am a parent of autistic child, and it has been tears, lots of crying, a lot of alone time, because a lot of people, when they see a child with very severe behaviors that they don't understand, they can be very mean and hostile. So if it gets a little bit lonely, and then there's parents like me who don't always have all the resources and have to go to college to learn more and adapt yourself to your situation. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm going to change the world. Same type of DBT format, but implemented differently to build relationships, appropriate skill set, self awareness, self reflective practices, and create stronger support systems. This project will be based upon evidence-based practices, trauma-informed practices, DEI initiatives, digital citizenship principles, and components of systems therapy, which that means we are going to break down the relationship structure. We're going to have one-on-one sessions with mom, and we're going to have one-on-one sessions with child or dad or grandparent or any kind of guardian. Okay, so then that also, I'll just get to that in a minute. Parent child 15-minute check-ins. They can probably opt for their own sessions and eventually work towards a 45-minute session together, but it's always nice to have little check-ins to kind of facilitate what one side is thinking versus the other. So this is what makes it so systematic, is because we're taking apart these relationships and reestablishing them to be more functional. Therapy curriculum will be developed by a team of researchers and mental health workers. This is where all these components at the top paragraph are going to meet and be creative to the process. Then the digital diary cards and digital goals and objectives will all be initiated technologically. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but that's not the point. Um, so we are just looking to enhance relationships and build support systems. Now, another part I didn't add to this, which I thought I did. Oh, no, it is child peer group sessions and adult peer group sessions. We would pick one night a week, and I'll get to more of this. It'll be more detailed here in a minute. But we are going to put parents with parents and create a support system. And that will be like how DBT runs their skills concept and coaching classes. This will be time for them to go over their diary cards. And the diary cards are going to look different. They're going to have different skills that are going to be related to the principles, but not quite. And the child peer group is going to be about socialization, learning how to just build relationships and hygiene and ADLs and just things that they can figure out together as a group. It gives them support on both sides, so nobody has to feel lonely. And if my daughter was here, she'd be saying, nobody has to be lonely at farmersonly.com. Technological design. Now, this is very important because this is what brings us all here. Um, Now, the two components that I really wanted to emphasize in my thinking here and in my uh, shaping of this software design is the client profile with AI components so that there's individualization built in. But as a citizen, digital citizen from another class that I'm studying, we want to ensure that we are doing the big data and datafication breakdowns to ensure that we're not putting bias in these and that we're not creating more problems. So there will be close efforts with professionals to make sure that these things are kind of filtered out or just filtered out. Additional education and resources tailored to clients' needs. So it would be all listed under different menus and compartments. I would use Epic MyChart type technology. The people who created Epic MyChart were really intelligent because it connects all your appointments, all your data. This would also be a nice way to bring in your therapy and connect it to the hospital's stuff. Because a lot of times you get med changes at the psychiatrist, but they don't show up on your My Chart because the two are different programs and they run off of different programs. So if we pulled in Epic to run these programs, then everything would be connected and it would be less chances of inappropriate med distribution and different things like that. Options for meetings, there would be a connection to discussion forums and group forums for that individualized uh, parent session group, but also it's not the individualized, it's the group sessions. The group sessions would be done through forums, and then this way it would be more convenient for the parent who may be working so many hours, and there can be put forth effort to have different times and availabilities for them. So technology just makes it so much easier. Plus the calendar features to incorporate these alerts. So when they're going to happen, you can schedule them to be a half an hour reminders, hour reminders. When you have neurodivergence in your household, whether you yourself have neurodivergence or your children have neurodivergence, it is one of those challenges to remember everything, especially if you've just had a long, intense meltdown and then you are trying to decompress. That can be a lot at one time. So it's nice to have those little built in barriers. Individualized activities for completion. I would like to see more interactive game features slash skills that would be up on the screen that can be interactive for the therapist and the child and the parent in their individualized sessions to kind of help build the skills that are needed. Sometimes for my daughter, she's autistic, and for her to really pay attention, she's got to have two or three things going on at a time. She catches everything as long as she can keep her hands busy. So that's a part of the sensory disorder. Built-in staff guidance features for added staff support. So this would be like a training type scenario or just like prompts that come up with the AI to kind of guide the session a little bit better, because sometimes we don't think the best on our feet, and then it helps from to keep things moving more smoothly. The next component would be built-in features, software collaboration. I would think that Google would be a great collaboration initiative. Then you can use components of Google Classroom for optional assignments for the um, client that they can work on, that would be focused on a certain or specific goal that they may have. Google Suite features to promote creativity and feedback. So there's the docs, the art, different features that can just help give them that extra added coping skill. And the therapist is there to guide that process through the telehealth program. Canva program adaptations, I think it would be cool to put a collaborative piece on there and then make it so that both would have live back and forth connections to be able to complete projects or do whatever, just for these like ways to promote coping. And mobile applications with plugin opportunities, meaning, and I'm not sure that I worded that right, plugin opportunities, but I think of Apple Health, how Apple Health connects to your doctors. This way, there would be opportunities to be able to keep balances and checks on all the information coming in and going out. It also promotes better documentation. I was thinking about how Google Forms could do the feedback initiatives. The therapist or the administrative staff or programmers can put out these surveys for the staff to fill out, and then it would come up on the My Chart to fill out. Then it would bring in all the data needed to uh, create feedback and to fix any kinks. Project timeline, the fundraising event for networking and awareness would be 1 to 3 months. This is just a guesstimate. Creation of relations and development of team would be like 3 to 6 months. Strategic planning process would be 1 to 3 months. A Gantt chart would go right in line with that strategic planning process and be put together. And this is just an opportunity to put all those extra ideas out onto the table. This is a must, because there's things that I miss that maybe another mom or another community member or another therapist might think about. And we want to make sure that we have it all put in there as best as possible, because we are going to be the ones using it. So we need to be ahead and have say. Software creation based upon the outline of design, 6 to 12 months. Uh, Training of staff and environmental restructuring for best practices is 1 to 3 months. This is all a part of the assessment. This is how I'm going to address the assessment. This environmental restructure for best practices is also going to incorporate all the financial stuff, all the Medicaid and insurance needs, and licensing, training, anything that needs to be confronted and tackled during the time that the software is being created. Then we can bring it in, pull it all together, do an implementation of a pilot program, see how it works. And it also gives time for kinks to be worked out and build some kind of a beautiful routine with it. And documentation that collects feedback and progress of staff and clients, because we're not here just to support the clients. We also want to support our staff in their work and what they do, because it is very important. Statistics, in my county specifically, this is from the NOCAC needs assessment. There is a lack of transportation. Therefore, there is a need for telehealth services. Statistics that I pulled from my own research showed something very amazing. These are things that people have tried to do to, one focuses on what interventions has been used for parents, and the other one focuses on provided support. So one of the things that you see, 19 of the 28 people that took this survey said that support given by family and friends is what they have utilized, and that's the most. So, therefore, building supports with these support groups would be helpful, and it backs the need for that. This is the statistics of autism, which is spiking. As you can see, in 2014, we were at 16.8. And today, well, it's not today, but this shows the birth rates. And so it's a little confusing. But 2014, it was 16.8. And then it doubled by 2022 in the prevalence of children that have autism or become diagnosed with autism. We've kind of gone over all these little initiatives for the organizational assessment and how we're going to complete some of these things. Core readiness, it's all a part of strategic planning, really, and getting that all together. The financial considerations, I was thinking about how you could really work with contributors such as Google and get some kind of collaboration going to create these programs and maybe get a little bit of assistance in the process because we are getting them to think outside the box and we're promoting them with them promoting us. Operations, making sure everything goes smoothly. There's a plan in place for everything to make sure that we're engaging all the needs and touching base on each and every one of these little pieces. Certification was one of the things that for the state of Ohio, you do not need telehealth specialties in your licensing. But if you go to Indiana, you do. So that would be one consideration. But to be a therapist, you got to get your master's degree and all that beautiful stuff. This is our team. And I did this a little funny because you said have fun. So here we are. Thank you for your time and have a beautiful day.